Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. You're watching my series on how to become a cabin crew. And this is part 3 of the Singapore Airlines interview process. The first two videos that I made were about the application process and also telling you in detail about the online video interview process. And today we're going to be talking about the walk-ins, or when you're actually shortlisted based on your online application for certain countries like India and Japan. And when you go for the interview, what exactly happens in the interview is what I'm going to tell you guys today. First and foremost, when you go there, remember to carry all the documentation that you've been asked to take with you. So for walk-in interviews, like the ones that are done in Singapore and Malaysia or even Indonesia, remember to carry all the documents that you've been asked to carry. Your birth certificates, the original documents in terms of your education qualification, your passport size photo, and of course the downloaded application form. For other countries like Thailand, Hong Kong and Taiwan, because you have already submitted your online application form, they will send you an email once they send you an invite if you're shortlisted for the interview, which is going to happen face-to-face. So carry all the required documents that they have sent you in the email. And for India and Japan would be the same thing. China as well, they will send you an email, so remember to carry all the documentation that you're supposed to carry. And this is what's going to happen when you actually go there. So first and foremost, they will be taking your height by doing an arm reach test. You know what's the height requirement, 1.58 for the female candidates and 1.65 for the male candidates. This is because of the safety and emergency procedures that you will need to be able to perform when you're on board the flight. And if you guys know that most of the safety equipments are actually stored in the overhead compartments, so that's one of the reasons they need you to have a certain height, and of course to be able to help passengers store the bags and close the overhead compartments. Well, that comes with the job. Second thing that they're gonna do is basically put you in groups of 10, and they will give you some sequence and numbers, and then you will be called upon into a separate room in the groups of 10 where there will be 2 recruiters, and they will be asking you 2 questions primarily. One would be to introduce yourself. Airlines does this thing when they ask you a random question. So for example, please introduce yourself and tell us if you were to have a superpower, what would that be? Or they could ask you, so tell me about yourself and which is the best gift that you have gotten in last 1 year. So something like that. They just want to throw a random question at you. Now again, if you would have seen my other videos on interview processes, I always talk about the answers do matter, but at the end of the day, what does matter is how you give that answer to. The next round would be the debate round. So all the successful candidates that they pick up from the first round, they group them in groups of 6, and again they take you to a separate room where you will have 2 recruiters again, and here you will be divided in groups of 3 again out of the 6, and 3 people will be asked to speak in favor of a topic and 3 people will be asked to speak against the topic. So remember, this is a little bit different from the group discussions that you would encounter when you go for corporate interviews, where people most likely fight to give their opinion. Here it's a little bit different because they give you some time to discuss and share your opinion with each other, and then they ask you to present your opinion in favor or against the topic that they have told you. And you will be given your chance to do that. One of the topics they've been giving in recent interviews are beauty is more important than intelligence, or money is more powerful than relationships. So some people have to speak in favor and some people have to speak against it. And one of the things that they do in this round, from what I have heard, is also they will ask you to introduce your partners. So first they will give you the topic, and then while you're discussing, they will tell you to actually get to know your partners a little bit better, and then introduce your partner, and then basically give your opinion on the topic that they have asked you to, in favor or against. And the recruiters definitely are watching and looking at you when you're doing your discussions as well, and not just when you're presenting your opinion. Check out my group discussion videos where I've mentioned a little bit more about what are the things to take note of when you're actually attempting this kind of round. The next rounds that does happen in some countries and that does not happen in some countries is basically a passage reading or reading some sort of text, because especially for overseas candidates, Singapore Airlines do want to check their fluency in English at times or in their particular language. Moving on, the next round would be the final round, which is basically the management round. Now again, this round is basically a face-to-face round where there will be two recruiters, and most likely these recruiters are from higher management. They'll be going into a little more detail in terms of your introduction, in terms of your experience, in terms of your strengths, your weaknesses, what you can bring to the table. So there'll be a little more toughness in terms of the questions that they might be asking you. Remember, this is the round where they're looking at everything in totality and not just your answers. So you can go and look at my face-to-face interview video as well, which will give you a little more detail on this. If you clear this round, you will move on to the next round, which is the skin check and the kabaya fitting round. Now for male candidates, there is no fitting or kabaya fitting round, but they do conduct some sort of skin check. So whichever area of your body when you wear your uniform is visible should be presentable. For female candidates, the skin check is a bit more stringent. So they make you actually wear the kabaya. They will make you walk in the kabaya. They would want to see how you walk, how you carry yourself, and at the same time they will also do a skin check. Now this skin check does not include just checking your skin on your face, but also they'll be checking your hand, legs for any sort of marks. To mention here, when you're doing the skin and the kabaya fitting round, they will also do the weight at this point in time most of the times. Sometimes they do it together with the height, sometimes they do it together with the skin check, so it really depends on them. Again, remember, weight is very subjected to your height. So remember, your BMI, as long as your BMI is normal, you're actually in the good books. So to calculate your BMI, you can refer to one of my videos where I've talked about how you can calculate your BMI. These rounds keep changing, so it really depends on what exactly they wish to conduct and what exactly are they looking for at that point in time. This brings us to the last round, which is the medical round. And what happens in this round is basically they will be, after you're shortlisted through all the 5 rounds, they will be giving you a letter to go to a designated medical personnel where they'll be conducting the medical round, which does include checking your body physically and a few other tests. And once you clear that round, you're good to go. And they will send you the information as to when your training will start, and if you're coming from overseas, how will you make your way to Singapore, and all the other formalities. So if you need any more information at any point in time, just feel free to drop me a message on my email. And if you'd like to get any coaching, I do personal coaching, one-to-one coaching, and also online coaching for my overseas friends. For my Singapore friends, I do online and both face-to-face coaching. Do drop me an email on my email address, which is listed below. I'll be more than happy to assist you and coach you and guide you. And at the same time, if you like this video, do share it with your friends, do press the like button, do subscribe to the channel and the notifications. I do tend to do live sessions on YouTube as well on a very regular basis where I can answer your questions and queries. Stay pretty, stay handsome, take care of yourselves, and all the best for your interviews. Love you guys. Bye.